PC エンジン512色スーパービジュアル6チャンネルリアルサウンドニューワールドを制覇する PC エンジン全開 NEC から。
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Meso Terraconverting series, the PC Engine Playhouse, where I take a look at some of my favorite PC Engine games of all time, both on the HuCard side as well as the CD-ROM side. And today we were playing Bomberman 94, which I consider to be the second best Bomberman game ever made, directly behind Saturn Bomberman. While this did come out on the Sega Genesis as Mega Bomberman, I played it first on the PC Engine, and that is where I love to see it go. Before we get too far involved, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, you got a Patreon link down below as well. But when I say I absolutely love the entire Bomberman franchise, I mean it. I probably have over 30 Bomberman games in my physical game collection, and I have played through each and every one of them at least alone, if not with my wife. This is something we always throw on when we want a fun game to play on a random night, and it always 100% hits. From the music to the gameplay to the graphics on this is just absolute perfection in my opinion. Sure, the PC Engine is not going to be able to stand up to the Sega Saturn as far as the prettiest 2D Bomberman game is concerned, and this one definitely has a little bit less on the level department than Saturn Bomberman as well, but short of that, this is still a spectacular game whether you're playing battle mode or the story mode, and that's what's so great about Bomberman. You really get two games in one every time you play it. And what I really love about this, just like some of the Super Bomberman games on Super Nintendo, is just how distinct every single world truly is. Every stage is going to be different, every world is going to have a different theme, new enemy sprites, and you're constantly going to want to see what happens moving forward. Throw some friends into the mix, do a two-player, and it's going to come even more alive. And what I love about Bomberman in general is just how easy it is to understand how to play it and how difficult it is to actually beat a Bomberman game. Once you get to the later stages, this absolutely will kill you, or you can kill yourself by trapping yourself with a bomb. I know it seems simple to not do that, but trust me, when you're actually playing, it is one of the most common things to do because you're frantically running around trying to drop those bombs, kill the enemies, and hit the orbs with your bombs to escape the level. And you can and will make mistakes, but that's where the fun in Bomberman is. And the best part is, every time you play, you get a slightly varied board setup. So the first time you play this game to the second time, you're going to see completely different areas of the game as far as where the destructible barriers are concerned. They move around all the time, so you really do get a distinct playthrough every single time you turn Bomberman 94 on. And while Bomberman 93 and the original Bomberman for PC Engine are totally fun games and they are in my collection, for my money's worth, Bomberman 94 mops the floor with absolutely both of those games. Not to say they're not great in their own right, this is just a later stage PC Engine game, and it has such a visual flair that the first two games don't have as much. Like this screen space effect right here that makes it look like you are underwater. Not sure if Bomberman can breathe underwater or what the story is there, you don't get much lore for it, but I absolutely love the graphical effects that this game puts up and just how well they're used for the actual world building. Just having an underwater stage in and of itself is fun, but having all of these ripples in this screen really do sell the illusion of Bomberman being underwater. And I love the fact too that the bombs go from exploding with fire to imploding with those kind of shockwaves through the water that you would expect to see like a submarine do when it had a missile coming out of it. I guess maybe that would be more like a torpedo. But all torpedo jokes aside, again, this game just has so much charm, so much visual flair. If you like Bomberman, you've never played this one before, definitely check it out. I really do think it is one of the best games they have ever made. And that's the nice thing about Hudson Soft. They made incredible Bomberman games, and they were one of the two companies that brought the PC Engine to market along with NEC, so you know that they were going to get a lot of Bomberman games on the platform, and this is maybe one of the best platforms for Bomberman fans in and of itself. I even love that school of fish that flies across the screen, and this looks, plays, and sounds like a Super Nintendo game, not a PC Engine game, and considering the PC Engine is less powerful, that is always impressive. But the one thing that Bomberman has all the time is a spectacular soundtrack. This is going to get stuck in your head for the next week, I guarantee it, but go ahead and listen for 45 seconds and I'll be right back. Just such an iconic track and such an iconic soundtrack, and I would say that again this comes only second to Saturn Bomberman, which I think is not only the best game in the franchise but also has the best music. Hudson Soft just went out of their way when they made that one, but they put in as much effort here on the PC Engine. What I really love are the boss fights. They're fun, they're varied, and they are very hilarious. Right now we're in the first boss fight on stage 1, and a monkey comes down on a giant robotic banana, pulls out a set of controls, and that banana comes alive with those shifty eyes and starts to try to attack you. I'm going to show you this entire boss fight because they're some of the most fun things in the game. Each boss fight has strategy, and depending on how you move around the board, the opponent is going to move to either match your movements or try to counteract where you put the bombs. You definitely want to collect a lot of power-ups in this stage to have multiple bombs that have a lot more blast radius than stock, or else beating some of these bosses is going to become near impossible. This is the type of game where if you get into a bad spot, it's probably better just to start from the beginning of the level than it is to try to actually push through and beat a boss with low-level bombs. And you can see here, you can hit the monkey or you can hit the banana. It is your choice. But again, the sense of humor in something like this, a giant robotic banana with a monkey controlling it, I don't know why it makes me so happy, but you can tell the artists and designers that made this game really love doing this because they tried to make as much fun as possible. But both the monkey and the banana are dead. He's going to do this little scurry into the wall, and that is it for stage 1. But let's move on to some more stages in the game, and I am mixing and matching what worlds I show you so you get a good sense of all of the things you're going to see without going too deep into it or showing you all the bosses, because if you haven't played this game, please do me that favor and check it out. But as you get into later stages, the opponent patterns are going to get much more unique. On stage 1 and half of stage 2, they will just literally walk into the bomb, trap themselves, and willingly get exploded. But once you get to stage 3 and on, all of the enemies have different hopping and movement patterns. They're going to avoid bombs and avoid you, or rush you and try to trap you. It's kind of like Pac-Man, where you can move the ghosts around depending on how you use your controller input, but it's in the Bomberman universe, and it makes every board so complicated. It is like every single level is its own mini puzzle, and you need to figure out what to do and what not to do, like exploding this power up here, because if you do put a bomb too close to them, they do explode, and then you are going to lose that. So there is a real risk versus reward, making sure you don't put the bomb in the wrong spot. Or something like this area here inside of this building, it is all in silhouette, and you have that one little circle of light where Bomberman is. It is just such a fun look and feel. It's such a unique perspective and a fun graphical trick on the PC Engine. It is just a great time, and that's why I love this game so much. Every single inch of the screen is covered in fun pixelated artwork. There's so much detail in every single area, even the glowing eyes of the enemies that are in the dark. It's just something that didn't need to be there, but it's such a fun little visual indicator of what's going on. I can't help but absolutely love it. But one more taste of the soundtrack is Area 5-1 is spectacular as well. I'll come back and tell you a little bit more about the history of Bomberman 94, why I love it, and why you should play it. But enjoy, because this music is just a 10 out of 10. It's just such happy, cheery music, and honestly, the musicians at Hudson Soft are really up there on my list of some of the people that can make some of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Bomberman has such an iconic sound and look, and it is being delivered in spades here. But trust me, when you get to the final area, this game is going to absolutely test you. It's going to take absolutely every single power-up, every single bit of luck, and every single bit of planning to actually get to the final boss. But that's the great thing about Bomberman as well. The sense of satisfaction when you're playing well is second to none. And of course, I don't show it to you here because this is just the single player portion, but you have the entire battle mode as well, which is going to be where so much of this game's longevity comes from. But honestly, this is just my second favorite Bomberman game of all time. And honestly, even though Saturn Bomberman is my favorite, this is like 99% as good, but I did manage to blow myself up there by not paying attention. But if you've never played Bomberman 94, definitely check it out. If you've never played any Bomberman game, you could totally start here. You would have an absolute blast, pun very much intended. But we're done, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!